Tea. Go on. Tell us, because I haven't asked you, Pat. It's supposed to be an evaluation video, but I haven't asked you. I haven't had a chance to tell me about the first night you went down the Reno.
The first night I went down the Reno, I was 15. And I went to the Denmark to get a weed. And I was talking to the lads and they were looking after me. Well, they were men, black men, very nice black men for that matter. But they were all somebody's dad. So they were concerned about me. So I said, I need somewhere to go for a drink because I work late. And they suggested that I try the Reno. So I did. And I got to the door and I was greeted by, "You're too young and I know your father." And he wouldn't let me in at first, but I stood talking to him at the door. He realised I wasn't drunk because I'd just finished work. And he said to me, "You go in and stay out of trouble." Told me where to stand. He said, "If you like music, go and stand by the box." Beatbox, I think he called it. I can't remember now. Go stand by the box. And Cooley was playing, I think.
What year are we talking, Pat? Oh, God, you're talking 70.
Yeah, I was very young.
1970, aren't we?
So it was when all the women used to dress like queens.
Yeah.
So I felt a bit out of place when I got down there because I was just like a tramp. I'd just finished work.
Where was you working till late at 15?
In a catalogue packing company in town. Till 10 o'clock I was working.
Right.
So I'd gone to a club afterwards. I think it wasn't Cloisters. It was, oh God, I can't remember the name of it. It was on the corner in Piccadilly near the Gay Village. Oh, anyway, I'd gone there. And
the Thompson's Arms.
Well, no, that was a pub. I used to go in there,
okay.
but that was a pub. It was a little club on the corner. And it played lots of black music.
Right.
And reggae. And I just decided, after the guys had told me about the Reno, I just thought, well, I'd had a nice time, so I thought I'll just go, because I didn't drink then.
Yeah.
I used to drink Pepsi Cola with a straw.
Did you?
Out of them Pepsi bottles that you dug up at the Reno. Because when I looked at the picture, I thought, I could have had my lips around that bottle. Then I thought, no, because I used a straw. Anyway, I went in and there was a pool table and my dad was a snooker player.
Right.
And he taught me how to play pool quite well. So I started betting because I had no money for a drink anyway. So I started gambling on the pool table. I think it was only for £1 or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of money anyway. And you had to put your marker down to play. And all the guys were sucking the teeth, when I got up to play. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And I whoops the butts off them. Made enough money to get a can of Red Stripe. And then that was just, every time I could get out, because I couldn't afford to go out a lot. I think I only earned like £3 a week or something.
Yeah.
Every time I could afford to get out then. And also, I got pregnant in 1971. So
you were 16.
Yes.
When are you born?
1954.
54.
So I'd have been 18.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
17.
Yeah, so when I got pregnant, I couldn't go out, obviously.
Yeah.
But my husband was quite tolerant. So once she was born, we had alternate weekends out.
Right.
So I used to go down the Reno, and go to a club and go down the Reno. And that's when I got the job at Cloisters. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, where did I work? I got a job in a bar in... Oh, the gay bar. It might have been that one you just said, the Thompson's Arms.
Yeah.
And it was just an ordinary bar job. So I used to finish work and then go down the Reno. And my husband was all right about it because he was a hippie.
Right.
He liked Bob Dylan and all that lot. So he used to go and do his thing and I'd go and do mine. And then we had another child, which is Scott, my second son. He lives in Australia now, 3 grandkids. And after Scott, I met a lady but that's putting it politely. She was a cow, really. I met a lady called Mary Fogarty, and she was a big butch lesbian that used to go in that pub that was renowned for it, where that big black guy works as doorman.
Oh, the Union.
The Union.
Yeah.
I met her in the Union. And alcohol again. Woke up the next morning with a beached whale and thought, what the fuck am I doing here?
Fucking hell, Pat. The gin's getting to you already, you bloody.
I thought to myself, what have I done here?
Fucking hell, man.
So anyway, after that, I
Yeah.
thought to myself, you've got 2 kids at home, you've got to...
Right. So did you go home and fess up?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. What
I
did
went
he
home and
say?
fessed up. And he said to me, I've always known he was gay.
Are you going to regret this when the camera's gone?
it's the
Go on.
It's the
Go
truth.
on.
Well, I just told you about my recent illness with the adrenal glands that
Yeah.
produce too much of every hormone.
Right.
So I have loads of, is it testosterone?
Testosterone.
That's the one. Can you see my moustache? Anyway, so I was quite an aggressive woman, really. Not physically aggressive.
Well, what do you mean aggressive then?
Stand my ground in front of anybody.
Okay. Well, the fact that you've gone down and put money down to pay on the pool table
Yeah.
is pretty kind of like...
Yeah, and I
Butch.
wouldn't stand and wait at the bar and push my way through like men do. You know,
Yeah.
because men were always taller than me.
Yeah.
And I'd go into the bar and they'd get served from behind me. So I used to be quite aggressive and say, you serve him and I'll pour it over the floor before he gets to him. It's my turn. You know, and I'd get served. And they called me Pixie.
Right.
So people might remember me by the name Pixie because I look like a little gnome, I think. Not a fairy.
So get back to Mary Fogarty,
Right,
because
oh,
you know
yeah.
I'm nosy. See, go on, so what
Mary
happened
Fogarty
then?
had
So
a
did you
flat-
stay with her?
No, we had like an affair
Behind your husband's back?
behind my husband's back.
So he said
yeah.
he knew you were, so you fessed up.
I
You
fessed
said,
up and
yeah,
he said I
you
knew he was gay all
and then
along.
you've secretly been gone off meeting Mary Fogarty.
Yeah. And she was just she slept with my sister as well.
Fucking hell, man.
So, I mean, well, 2 sisters.
Pat, are you sure you want to be divulging this
Well,
now?
my
Well, your
sisters,
sisters might not be bloody happy,
my sisters are gay. So
Oh, okay. All right.
they're not going to deny it, are they?
Alright.
That's the truth. I'm not
So
going to tell you.
how long would you have in this affair with Mary Fogarty that she manages to sleep with your 2 sisters in that
I think
time?
it was about 6 months. Oh, she slept with my 2 sisters, not while she was with me, but after me.
Oh, okay.
Yes, our Diane beat her up, which is my sister that's dead, because
Oh.
Diane was, whereas I'm verbally aggressive, she was physically aggressive.
Right.
So Mary took the piss out of her, so Diane beat her up. And during the argument, she pushed Mary Fogarty up against the wall and was strangling her, and a fireman come and said, I'm a fireman. Can you, in our Diane said, go and put some fucking fires out, there's none here. I thought, oh, Diane.
Fucking hell. Well, where did it happen, in the street?
Yeah, in the street in Withington.
Right.
She lived in Withington. And then she dated my younger sister, which was Alison.
Right.
And then Mavis come on the scene somehow. But I don't know which sister she was with. And then Alison met Joan Graham, who's Scott Graham's mother, a ginger bearded one,
Yeah.
who used to go in art clubs as well, you might not remember him. And my sister Alison was with Joan Graham for 27 years.
Wow.
But she's with a man now. So I think it's genetics, because I've also got a sister called Vicky, who's the youngest out of all of us, and she's been gay since the day she was born. I seen it in her when she was about 2.
Right.
She'll play with dolls out. She'll play with cars and rums and beating up.
So you think it's in the family?
Yeah, and then she
That's
turned out.
interesting.
She turned out to be a footballer.
Right.
Played for Manchester United ladies.
Oh, wow. Go on, girl.
Yeah, and played at Wembley.
Go on, girl.
And she's been with the same woman for 30 years.
Wow.
And they've got a son. I think he's 18 now.
That's unusual, 4 sisters.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I think it's genetic.
Yeah.
Because you can't say we influenced each other, because I actually walked into... Do you remember the Picador?
Yeah, of course.
Walked into the Picador, and there was what they used to call the Quality Street gang.
Yeah.
We sat at the bar, and there was this beautiful dark-haired woman, and I only saw her from the back, and I thought, oh, she's got hair like our Diane. And when I walked up the bar, it was Diane. And I said, what the bloody hell are you doing in here? She said, never mind me, what are you doing here? And I thought she was with one of the Quality Street gang, and I knew they were married. So I said, listen, don't even go there, you'll end up getting battered, robbed, or something bad. You can't get any good from this. She said, I'm not with them, you daft get, I'm with her. Well, I
Is
thought...
that the first you knew?
That was the first I knew she was gay. But this Chris, we used to call her Posse Chris, had been picking our Diane up from home in a Mini.
Right.
For months. Diane would say, Mum, Chris is here, I'm going.
As a friend,
No, she looked like a lad.
Ah.
She had tight curly hair, and she was tall and skinny. And we only ever saw her sat down in the car. So we used to think it was a he.
Right.
So Diane come home one night. She thought I was going to grass her up.
Okay.
So she sat on the chair, on the arm of the chair, and she said to me, Mum, I've got something to tell you. And my mum went, oh, bloody hell, you're not pregnant. She went, no, Mum, I'm gay. And my mum just cracked up laughing.
What?
She went, have you been with a man? And she went, no. She said, well, bloody come back when you have and tell me you're gay then.
Did she?
Yeah, she was. And my mum was always dead accepting of anything we were.
Oh.
There was no racism in our house. It didn't matter who you brought home as long as he weren't a thief.
Yeah.
Or a woman beater. If a man hit you, he'd never step foot in my mum's house again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've had a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I had a lovely upbringing. That's how we got into this conversation, wasn't it? I did. I had a lovely, tolerant parents that were what I would consider an example to me, really.
Oh.
And I still kind of think the reason I'm on my own is because my expectations are too high. I want somebody to treat me like my dad treated my mum.
Why, how did your dad treat you?
Like a princess.
Did he?
Yeah. You know, whenever she went out the house, he used to stand at the kitchen window and he'd have the same cup with a tea towel, drying the cup, and he'd be looking at his watch. He said, I think I should go looking for your mum. She's been a long time.
Oh.
I said, Dad, she's at the shop. And it wasn't jealousy. He worried about her so much that he even gave up driving, and that was his profession. Gave up his car and everything in the 70s because it worried me, Mum.
Really?
And my
What
dad,
worried you?
well, my dad had a locking knee,
Okay.
and so once his leg locked while he had his foot on the accelerator.
Fucking hell, man. What happened in that?
Well, luckily, he broke with his other foot.
Right.
And
so that put the fear of God in
well, I
her.
thought the fear of God in her, and he
Yeah.
said to me, I don't care, we'll get buses and taxis, Edna, because she went white, my mum. She could have had a heart attack. So he said, I'm not putting you through that again, I'll give up
Aw.
driving.
Pat, you've got to tell the story you told me about what happened to them.
Oh, yeah, my mum and dad, like I say, had a really healthy lifestyle, apart from smoking, but none of them were drinkers. But my dad got lung cancer. And we was looking after my dad, and I was going down every weekend to see him. He was 88. And I gave him a big hug and a kiss and said, bye, Daddy, after he'd told a few of his dirty jokes and his banana joke. I said, bye, Daddy, I'll see you at weekend. And I just pecked my mum on the cheek and said, see you soon, Mum, and walked out the door. And I got a phone call. Can remember it like it was yesterday. I was sat in the bedroom painting my toenails on the bed, 9 o'clock at night. And my sister phoned, and she said, are you on your own, Pat? I said, yeah, but don't worry. You know, I've been expecting it. She said, I don't think you're expecting this. Both my mum and my dad are dead.
Fucking hell, man.
And my mum had a brain hemorrhage at the same time my dad had died. So they got the same time on the death certificate.
Fucking hell, man. That's extreme, that, isn't
It
it?
was never parted
Oh.
from the minute they died. The funeral, and my mum had to have a post-mortem because she died unexpectedly, where you don't have to have a post-mortem if they know what you died of.
Yeah.
But she had to have a post-mortem, and we pleaded with them not to spoil her face or, leave any marks on her. Because we wanted them open coffins, so go and see them.
So they're in open coffins together?
Yeah,
wow.
In the same room, and then they were cremated together. And we got one set of ashes, and they were buried together just round the corner from where I live, which is my plot's where I'm going. But
that is some love story, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they do.
How long have they been together?
Over 60 years. Got married in 1920. No, 19... Oh, I'm not sure now. I've had a memory, so my memory's not too good. But they were married over 60 years. My eldest sister, Joyce, was the first child, and they didn't have children as soon as they got married. So... no, me recall.
Yeah, I can't work it out anyway.
But we had a beautiful double funeral, and I made all the flowers.
I've never heard the like, Pat. Yeah. I have never, ever heard the like.
Yeah, and with hindsight...
You made all the flowers?
I made the flowers, a big cross for the...
Yeah.
We always, after my mum and dad died, I don't know whether people believe in stuff, but I do, I kept finding white feathers all over.
Oh.
So I saved them and incorporated the white feathers, into the, with yellow and red roses, because it was my mum's favourite, and white carnations.
Yeah.
And made some lovely flowers, and I enjoyed every bit of it. It wasn't the cost.
Yeah.
It's because I wanted to give something back.
Yeah.
And we had a lovely funeral in a pub that my dad didn't like, to be honest, but my mum loved it. So we had a massive big funeral, and all my aunties and uncles, because we come from quite a big family.
Yeah.
All my aunties and uncles and that came. We were not seen for years. They're dead now. And it was a really good send-off, but I don't think it would have been if we'd have buried them individually.
No, of course, you couldn't. That would have been strange. It's amazing that they've agreed to do the double thing, because I've never heard of it.
Yeah, they cremated them together as well. And they let us put photographs and little gifts. We all put a bit of jewellery on my mum. Our Joyce went in with an hairdryer and rollers.
Oh, did her hair?
Yeah, and did my mum's hair for her. And my dad's nickname was Snowy.
Yeah.
Because he had a really good thick hair of white hair. Because like I say, it's there. He's like a bit of an Italian dad, so his hair was jet black.
Yeah.
But it went white almost overnight. He just started getting a few grey streaks, and then it went not even grey, like pure white. So we did my dad's hair as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But from when I first started going to the Reno, I got, I don't know. They say of the bad old days, I used to wear that much jewellery that I must have put pounds on in weight. Loads of rings and chains and all kinds of stuff. And when I came out the Reno, sometimes I used to go up in the Nile, just for a change of music, because I like the music in the Nile sometimes. And there's some good-looking Nigerians as well. I never knew you look. But I used to go to a scruffy old blues. Oh, I forgot where it was. I think it was near where the beat used to be.
Oh, on Barnhill Street.
Oh, I went to that one on Barnhill Street with cockroaches.
Yeah, they all had cockroaches.
Yeah, I remember going in there and being frightened, not frightened to death of anybody robbing me or anybody beating me up.
Cockroaches getting you.
Just frightened to death of the cockroaches,
Jumping on you.
But then I remember going to a blues, it was like a big house with pillars at the front and a big wooden door. And I was walking up the road about to go in, and somebody blasted through the door with a shotgun.
Fucking hell, man.
And the guy who he got shot in his thigh, the bouncer that was stood behind the door.
Oh, I remember that.
But I can't remember his name.
I wasn't there, but I remember the story.
Yeah.
It's called Ivan, I think.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Ivan, yeah.
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 Yeah. So, Pat.
But I never went to a blues after that. It frightened me.
That's in the late 80s, isn't it, I think?
Well, I came to York in 1998.
Yeah.
So the last time I ever went in the Reno was probably about, because my son my eldest daughter now is 34. So it's possibly 30 or 40 years since I last went in the Reno.
It has to be. It's 87 when it was demolished. You couldn't have gone in after that,
No.
Yeah.
But I got a job at Cloisters. Now, my memory's not too good as to when that was. I think I actually was going in the Reno then, because I think Mark Collins used to come and pick me up from work.
Yeah.
Pinch half my money, by the way.
I started out with this is an evaluation video, right? That we're going to... No, because it was about evaluating the excavation and the memoirs and stuff.
Oh, the excavation.
But start off with, there's something really interesting about you. You said a really interesting line, right, ages ago. Because you have had a brain hemorrhage and stroke.
Yeah, I get all mixed up and I do tend to ramble on and repeat myself.
You don't, love. What you said was that they helped you, the memoirs were helping you to put your memory back together.
Well, that was what it was. When I joined the Reno website, because there was a bit of kerfuffle, wasn't there, over the real Reno.
Oh, I don't know.
And the Reno. So anyway, I joined...
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
Do you remember it? With, what's it called? Millie...
Don't go into there. Go on.
I did mention his name, Millie Fanakapants.
Yeah. No, you was a member ages before that.
Yeah, but I just used to comment on how I get memories back. Yeah, is when somebody says something and it opens like a valve and they come flooding in. Oh. But once I stop talking about them, they're gone again.
Is this from the brain hemorrhage?
It's from the brain hemorrhage. It's my short-term memory. So, I mean, sometimes I can lie in bed and it's like, you must have done it. You're an artist and a writer. You can't sleep because your mind's writing a book. Yeah. And in that book I'm writing, I think to myself, if I had a printer connected to me head...
Yeah, no, that's a great idea,
and
actually.
I could read it the next morning.
Oh, no.
Because I remember names, places, times, dates. But then when I try and rethink it in the morning, it's all gone. I've even tried lying in bed and having a pad of paper and try and shorthand it, while I'm thinking it. But when I get up in the morning and look at it, it's all a load of garbage.
So go on. So the questions are for the evaluation. Yeah. What did you do? So in relationship to the memoirs and the excavation, what did you do?
It opened floods of memories. It reminded me of who I was.
Oh, that's lovely.
Because I'd lost me. And since I left Manchester, I'd lost... Because we was a tight community in Moss Side. We all stuck by each other. I never got raped, battered, abused. Nobody ever took money off me unless I said they could. And I felt that through the Reno site. When I was following the excavation and the excitement of finding a pair of trousers, and a Pepsi bottle, and I was really, really excited. And I wanted to come to the party, the after party. I wanted to come to the museum, when that opened. Yeah. And I just couldn't because I was too incapacitated.
I know you were.
But I'm improving, and I think that's because people like us and like the people that went down the Reno, we're all fighters, we're all survivors from one thing or another. And I still feed off the Reno site now on Instagram. When I see pictures, I think, and I read things into the pictures. Like I saw a picture today of you, and who was it?
Tony Bellows.
And I could see by the look on your face that you was having some kind of real deep conversation about probably the Reno or probably something you found or future plans. So a picture's not just a picture to me.
Oh, well said, Pat.
A picture tells a story, and it's like I can put that picture in my brain like a photograph album. Yeah. And I can flick through it. I wish I could do the same with names, but names and phone numbers. I mean, I used to be like an index. I'd know everybody's phone number in the country because that's the way my brain works with having OCD. That was my special talent. But since the brain hemorrhage, I don't even remember my own phone number half the time and people's names. And sometimes I feel like it's an insult that I've known somebody for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, and you don't know the name.
And I don't know the name.
Yeah, but people must forgive you though, Pat. Bloody hell, it's not like you've done it on purpose.
Yeah, they all
on,
know
love.
mental
Do you know
anyway,
what I mean?
so they don't mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, I call my kids every other name but their own.
I think that's just something we all do as we get older. I do that, and I've only got one.
But it's like Snowy. Do you remember the bull rings?
Yeah.
Snowy used to live with a lady on the bull rings, and I can't remember her name. But
I can. I think, is it Janice?
Yeah,
Janet.
I think he was with her for a long time.
Yeah.
And two of my friends who are dead now, well, one of them is, I think, Sheila Malius and her girlfriend Val lived on the same block. And he was such...
Jeanette it is. Go on.
Jeanette, that's it. He was... Everybody used to be... Oh, be careful of Snowy. But I thought he was a proper gentleman. He only ever treated me with respect. You know, he never did anything. In fact, he was always a bit protective of me. Especially when I was pissed, he'd send me home. He would say, I'm not going home, I'm not 11.
Yeah.
He'd say, you're fucking going home. There's a taxi outside, get in it.
What did you learn? You know, like listening to the memoirs and whatever you've seen on the excavation.
I learned that everybody's got their own story.
Go on, I agree with you.
Everybody's got their own memories. And I think the Reno had a big part in making some of us who we are. Because I had nowhere to go, because I didn't quite fit in anybody's group. I mean, half the time I was gay, the other time I liked black men, the other time I didn't like, the other times I didn't like anybody.
Yeah.
And I was just, leave me alone, I'm in the corner smoking a spliff, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
But in the Reno, I was accepted. Didn't matter what I was or who I was, didn't matter what colour I was, didn't matter anything, you was accepted in there. Because that's the kind of place it was. It was a place for oddballs.
Yes.
As well as mixed race people. I don't know what to call them now. What's politically correct?
I don't know.
I call them black now.
No, I don't like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if you say we're black, then we've got no mum. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
our mums are white, so it's impossible for
Yeah.
us to be black.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you're not white either, though, are you?
No, so absolutely
it's
not.
It's mixed race that are completely...
Well, that's what people say. I don't know.
I mean, half caste is... I don't think it's a very nice term.
Well, that's what we were when we were teenagers. But it wasn't kind of said. I didn't think it was said. If you said when we were teenagers, you're half breed. Yeah. That was an insult.
Yeah, half-breed's an insult,
But half-caste was just a word.
Yeah, well, that's what I used to use then. I didn't know what to use now.
There's all sorts of things. There's biracial, dual heritage. I don't know, it depends on your age and what era you're born in, and I don't know.
Heinz 57 like me.
Oh, yeah, that was an insult. That was, yeah.
57.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the... daytime in the Reno.
Yeah, that was a different vibe.
A completely different vibe. Like, I used to go in with a plate of chips and I used to get in trouble for it. But I never got through out.
Yeah.
She said, don't bring your own food here. But I said, well, I was just passing, And you'd get a lot of ladies in the afternoon.
Would you?
The mature ladies who had mixed race children.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this.
Especially on a Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon. It was dress up and glam day, I think. I mean,
okay.
Don't trust my memory.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember this. But I didn't go in loads in the day.
Yeah. I think Sunday, because I think I can remember her name, but only because I've been reading Facebook. And I think her name was Coco.
Oh, yeah.
And she always...
She was 85 on Sunday.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, go on.
I bet she still dresses good.
I don't know. Go on.
She always inspired me as how to behave in the Reno.
Why? How do you mean?
Because she always insisted on being treated like a lady.
Yeah, but if you're going around flaring with testosterone and part buds, you can't expect that.
No, but I mean... It taught me to treat her like a lady.
Okay.
you know, but, you know, she hadn't a drink on her table, I'd always buy a drink.
Right.
Or if she needed anything from the bar, I'd say, I'm going, shall I get it for you? Because she was a proper lady. Well, I thought she was anyway.
I know what
totally
you're
wrong.
saying, Pat, though, I think, well, I'm jumping on your thing. It's kind of certain people was role models, weren't they?
Yeah.
Certain people you'd look at them and think, how the fuck have they pulled that one off?
Like Crazy Steve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody told me not to go anywhere near him. Is off his head. Well, I'm attracted to people. If my mum said to me, don't put your finger in the fire, you'll burn it, I'd stick my finger in it. So I used to purposely stand next to him. Never once did he threaten me or upset me, or he always used to make me feel safe, because I think, well, if anybody comes near me, he'll have them.
He's more crazy than I am.
He's more crazy than me, yeah. And who else did I used to stand with?
You don't sound like you came in with any friends, girlfriend. I mean, don't mean girlfriends, sexual girlfriends. I mean friends who were girls.
No, I was alone, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, still am.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever knock on my door. Except for my neighbour next door, Pat.
Yeah.
And that's just to see if I'm dead.
Yeah.
Because I don't go out very often. But no, I've only ever had one, what I would call lifetime friend. I mean, I keep in touch with people, but in my heart, one lifetime friend. And she's called Anne Callahan. Well, she's not now, she's married. Well, she's not, she's divorced. But she was Anne Sykes. And she lived in Barlow Road in Longside. And she was my best friend from being 10 at school. And she was the one that used to come in the Denmark with me and get a weed. But her mum wouldn't let her out at night. I used to climb out the window and climb down the drain pipe. But her mum was dead strict. She used to hit her over the head with a skull. I was caught doing that. My mum,
wooden skull.
Yeah, them old wooden ones. But my mum and dad were never violent. If they'd have caught me doing anything, I'd have been told off, grounded, explained why they were worried, and that'd have been it. But her mum would have kicked the shit out of her, so she didn't. It's
not worth it.
No, she didn't come to Reno, but she did used to come out during the day with us, you know, and go on what we used to call the front.
Yeah.
And we used to eat at Chicken George's. Yeah. Or was it Chicken George's?
I can't remember.
Days? We used to get dumplings with gravy on. Never tasted anything like it since in my life. Gorgeous. What else did we used to do? Oh, we'd go and get chicken and sit in the Denmark, really, drinking halves of mild.
We used to do that, but I'm 6 years old, younger than you. So we used to do that as well. Yeah. It was something like 11p for half a pint or something.
And I found out since why the mild always blew my head off, because I am now a qualified licensee, that everything spirit-wise that gets left over on the tables.
Don't.
They used to pour everything back into the mild. They don't do it now. But they used to pour everything back into the mild. So that's why all the old men drank it, because it used to blow their heads off.
Ew.
Used to get drunk.
So about the memoirs and the excavation. No, don't worry, love. Don't worry. I love your stories. About the memoirs. You don't. What did you think worked?
As far as the excavation?
All the memoirs, either of them. I tell you what, you watched all their memoirs. Yeah. I think you did. And I think you commented on all of them.
It was realising that, because like I've just said, I've always been a loner, and I've always thought that I think different to most people.
Oh, okay.
And I keep my thoughts, except for now, obviously, to myself. And I very rarely tell anybody who I am. But what I noticed, and this is why I was nervous of doing it, talking to you, was I noticed that everybody's like that. Mm. Everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody thinks they're different. And everybody has a life experience that's worth telling.
Oh.
And all them people that I watched, I'm going to start crying now. All them people that I watched felt like family.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because they were there for me when I needed people, when I was the loner. Because my best friend Anne, who I've just been talking about, who was my heart, emigrated to Australia.
Okay.
And I've never replaced her. I've never had another friend that can say, well, you look at my ass, I think I've got, it's itching, you know, I think I've got a boil. You know, them sort of friends.
Go on,
you know, she was just like my soulmate. I was so devastated when she left. And the people that I saw on them interviews were the people that took me in and sheltered me when I was lonely and sad and didn't know which way to turn. And not one of them people took advantage of me. And I was very vulnerable. I could have easily been took advantage of. In fact, only once, but he's none of them people that I've seen on there. But, you know, people like Mark Collins and Paul and Graham Icklin and Billy Black, and they all just sheltered me from, you know, everything. I mean, I just got treated so well. And nobody asked me to explain why I was like I was. Why you always on your own? Or, you know, why 1 minute you're with a woman, 1 minute you're with a man. Nobody asked me to explain. I think I was with a woman, I started, because I craved Anne's company. We were never together, never gay.
Yeah.
But she was the kind of person, like I've just said, that I could open up to and tell everything to.
Yeah.
The kind of thing that you would tell your husband. But I couldn't talk like that to a man. I needed a woman to be like that with. And I think that's why I turned to women. Don't think I was gay. I think I was just experimenting for quite a long time.
Yeah, for 10 years.
For 10 years, Surprised what you can do in 10 years. But, and then when I started to follow the dig and follow the interviews, it felt like I'd reconnected with my family.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, it really did.
When different people would turn up, people were like, be hysterical, you know,
And I was so mad that I couldn't come to the do, you know, the big tent and the music and all that. But you still included me. I got videos and photographs, you know, and when I did comment, somebody said something back to me. I wasn't excluded at all.
Oh.
And it was fantastic.
You're like a super fan. That's why I had to come and interview, because you're like a super fan.
I do.
You know what I mean? You proper was on it.
I mean, I wish.
And you showed your heart in your comments.
I wish that somewhere there could be another permanent place that had that atmosphere. I don't think we'll ever capture that again. I think laws for one.
Yeah, there's that.
There's the law for one. I mean, we used to smoke a weed and other things went on down there, but the atmosphere was great and inviting and family. And if you didn't want to join in any of the weed or join in any of the gambling or, you know, the prostitutes came down there, not, you know, it was just so inclusive of everybody. And I've never yet found a place I can go where I feel inclusive with the people that go there. Even when I ran my own pub, I tried to bring that sort of atmosphere. But I don't think there's that sort of people around anymore, especially in York.
What do you think's the difference, Pat? Hold on, we've run out of battery. Give me a minute.
Tomorrow and get something to last till tomorrow. Stop licking my feet, that's nasty.
Right, we're on. Right, Pat, I've no idea where we were before the card ran out.
No, so ask me a question.
Oh, what was it, about empathy or something it was good as well.
I think it was about the fact that it's all modern.
Oh, that was it.
And new age now about your pineal gland and everybody opening their eyes and seeing the real world. And I think we had that then before it was fashionable. I think we were all a lot more open-minded and a lot more, I can't say the word. Is it emphatic? No, I don't think that's it. I
think you're right. I think that is the word.
I mean, people used to finish your sentences. You know, you'd be speaking and you'd know they were thinking along the same lines as you because they'd finish what you were about to say. And they'd say, oh, yeah, that's happened to me. Oh, yeah, I feel like that. I mean, I don't want to get on the UFO and alien shit, right? Well, it's not shit, by the way. And the God and holier than thou. I'm not religious at all, but I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
Because I think people who are spiritual are grounded with the earth. And the earth leads you path. Leads you to... I mean, I wouldn't kill a bumblebee. I wouldn't be averse to killing a wasp, though. But I think in them days, we all saw this society coming.
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of other people did. I think the same thing's going on now, that a lot of, quote, normal folk don't see what's happening. They vote Conservative or they vote Labour and they think they've done the bit. And they don't understand what's really happening. I mean, I don't know how you think, but they're trying to dumb us down. They're trying to dumb our youth down with all these chemical sprays and all kinds of things because we're already too smart for whoever is running it all. They didn't expect a lot of us to become this smart and to know what's going on. No, so they're trying to suppress our intelligence.
Link that back to the Reno. Did you used to talk like this in the Reno?
Yes.
Who did you used to talk like this in the Reno to?
Paul.
Yeah, me too.
Paul was very open-minded and I think still is to the world. A lot of people would bypass a lot of Paul's posts because they think, oh, another one believing fairy tales. Because a lot of people do believe that them clouds are natural. I mean, I've got photos of me taking pictures out my window with a blue sky like that. And I've been up at 6 o'clock in the morning with a bright blue sky. And I've watched the planes going back and forth. And by 11 o'clock in the morning, we've got clouds. They're not natural clouds. So what's in them clouds? I'm sure it's not for my benefit, as they would tell us what they were.
So what did you used to talk about in the 70s in the Reno then about?
I used to talk about how weed was more than just getting high. Because I've known from day one that cannabis was a medicine, that was something that was good for people. I don't think I've ever met a cannabis smoker that was violent or that would kill to get it. They'd think, oh, I've got no weed today. But they wouldn't go out and kill for it. Whereas all the other drugs that are on the streets now, like this, I've never tried it, but you know, this stupid stuff that makes you look like a zombie and all that. But the reason, from day one, the reason cannabis was made illegal in the first place was the big pharmaceutical companies. Because they knew then in the 70s what we know now, that it's a medicine that will cure cancer, epilepsy, CPOD. I mean, I smoke CBD oil, which hasn't got the THC in it, but the oil is beneficial and makes me breathe better. Why won't my doctor prescribe it for me? Because the pharmaceutical company's getting no money out of it. You know, and I used to sit and talk in the Reno about this, that smoking weed was making people's lives better. You know, it wasn't just a case of, let's all get stoned. It was what came out of the stoneness. People talked more, thought more, you know, they were more creative. And people used to slag weed off me and said, oh, you're only I forgot what they called me anyway, a nasty name. were mainly people who had never smoked it and that had bought into the government's official line that cannabis was bad. But I bet you any money, most of the government smoke weed.
Yeah, no doubt. What did you know in the memoirs and the... Because this is an evaluation. In the memoirs and the excavation, what did you think didn't work or could have been done better?
I think more people could have sponsored you.
Who? What do you mean?
I think you should have had more support. I don't know how you could have got that support. But I felt, I don't know whether probably other people felt, guilty that you stood in a muddy hole, you know, and your friends and all the people that, you know, came to help you. But if you'd have had more help, like if you'd have found a Roman castle under the ground, you'd have had floods of sponsors, floods of money, floods of everything. And the Reno's just as important to me as finding, you know, a Roman tower or whatever. And I used to get so mad because I used to think, why is she not getting any more support? I mean, when you put the thing up about... Oh, my brain's not working. The most recent posts about... the lotto, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the National Lottery Award.
I was just sharing it with everybody.
Oh, I know you were.
Because I thought, please get on board.
Yeah.
Because if all the people that ever went in the Reno, or ever knew anybody that benefited from going in the Reno, you know, anybody's mum or uncle or auntie. I mean, some of them guys' names I put up, I can't even remember what they looked like.
Yeah.
But the names rung a bell. And I thought, if everybody jumps on, I sent it to my family, I sent it to everybody. And I thought, if everybody gets on board, we stand a chance.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you, personally, not just us, I mean you, have started this ball rolling. You put so much effort into doing it, to getting it done. I mean, we're in the Whitworth Gallery, for God's sake.
Properly soon.
Properly soon.
Soon, absolutely properly.
I'm going to get my son to drive it. I cannot.
No, you have to come.
Yeah, I cannot not see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, is it touchable stuff?
Yeah, you can touch it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, you have to come. You have to take part and everything because we're going to be there for 9 months, you know.
Oh,
while we make art around it and get works of art out of their collection.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what to do with. We'll work it out as we're going.
Yeah. But you've got a good artistic brain, so I have full confidence.
Oh, it's going to be great. I can't wait.
It'll be great, yeah. I mean, the music. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear the music on my radio station?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't my radio station.
Yeah.
I thought you might have thought that when you got in the car, but I thought, well, I'll leave it on anyway because I'm too busy talking to you. But music feeds the soul.
Yeah.
And that was another thing about the Reno.
Yeah.
Because if I went in there proper pissed off, I had a bad day with my husband or a bad day at work or I had no money or there was something going on, you could go and stand by that speaker and Cooley and... name Persian would feed your soul.
Yeah.
And it's like drinking in music. It used to make my legs and feet and other parts of my body buzz.
Other women have said this too.
Yeah,
go on.
It did, and then you'd go out of there filled with energy. I mean, you can't tell me anybody walked out of Reno at 6 o'clock in the morning not full of energy. I would go straight to work sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'd be so buzzing that I think, oh, yeah. You know, I mean, I remember having 1 day off work. And it was because I'd left the Reno early, because I thought I'm working tomorrow. And I run a petrol station near that big tower called Sky Petroleum. And there's a big tower in town with a big clock on it. And it was an insurance.
CIS.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I worked round the corner near the Thompson's Hand, I think, at this petrol station. And what I'd done, because I wanted to go to Reno, I took £10 out the float, but I was a manager.
Right. So embezzlement's all right.
Yeah, so I thought, I'll put it back in the morning, you know, when I get paid, because I used to pay the wages as well. Yeah. So I thought, well, I'll take a tenner now and put it back in the morning. Well, I went home from the Reno because I thought I've got to be up for work in the morning. Well, I overslept. Bloody police knocked me up, didn't they? Oh. Knocked me up at the door, and because I'd not turned up for work, they'd had to send a relief manager in to open up. And there was, we used to have these blue flat-like cigarette tins, what we used to post into the safe with money in. And I'd posted one that said, I owe you £10, just to remind myself that when I did the wages, I owed it £10. And I got sacked and arrested for stealing £10.
That you'd confess to, though.
You don't steal something and say I owe you, do you?
Well, that's the great bit, is that you've confessed in writing.
Yeah. I thought, bloody hell.
So what happened? Did you get?
I didn't get much. I think I got a telling off.
Right.
When it got to court. I didn't get anything like that.
They actually went to court?
Oh, yeah, they called me a thief. I thought, it's a bloody thief. The Lord be gone, the safe would be empty.
And I'd never wrote it down.
So anyway, that was my life at Sky Petroleum. You used to have to dress up like bloody air hostess. I went in the Reno once in my uniform and everybody thought I was an air hostess. Well, that didn't contradict them. Because we wore a red hat, because it was called Sky Petroleum, so we had wings on our red hats. Like a trilby sort of thing. Yeah. And then we had these red jackets with wings on, red skirt and black shoes. And everybody thought I was an air hostess. So I didn't say anything. I thought, I'm the short-assest air hostess I've ever seen. Oh, do you work at Sky? And I said, yes. Yeah. Well, I did. But it was Sky Petroleum. Bloody nutty, your mum, isn't she? Yeah, I am.
Have you got anything else to say, Pat, before we wrap up?
Only that.
Go on, love.
The continuance of the Reno theme and following it online has reinvigorated my soul. Oh. Because I love... It reminds me of the music and the people and my youth. Yeah. Because I miss my youth.
Yeah, don't we all? Yeah. Go on.
And I miss... It sometimes gives me the same empowerment feeling as it did then, which I don't get from anywhere else. Yeah. It makes me think, yes, we was proud and we was brave, you know, and we did think, fuck them all, this is our nation. It was like being part of a nation.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. And that's where we left when the card went on. You was talking about that.
Yeah, it's like we all have the same thought patterns. Like we're a different breed. Yeah. Doesn't matter whether you're black, white, lesbian, gay, half caste. It's the soul. Yeah. We all seem to have the same soul. And I think a lot of the older guys still have it. You know, I mean, blacks were treated awful when I was young. I mean, the old black men, you know, that came in to do the buses and the bins. Yeah. And yet they were so good to me. I mean, they could have said, look off, you white bitch, you know, but they didn't. Because I was one of them. Yeah. Because we had the same souls. Doesn't matter what colour your skin is.
I know what you mean. You either fit in or you don't.
You either fit in or you don't. And you could tell the ones that didn't fit in because they got kicked out.
They didn't get kicked out. They just kind of wore out, didn't they? Because we just keep going back. It was happening at the excavation. People was just coming back every day. You know, like they weren't going to dig, some of them, but you just had that feeling of, you know, just hanging out and being with each other.
I wish I had been able to go on.
You'd have loved it, Pat.
You know what? You know, this sounds so stupid. But I thought, if I ask her, she's going to say, you know, you're mental. I wanted a break.
Oh, you poor fucker, you should have just said you wanted a break. There was loads of them.
I wanted a brick, you know, to just put on my thing and...
I'll get you the brick, love.
Oh, will ya?
I'll get you the brick, because when they turned over the soil, there's some that's still left on the top that's easy to come back.
Which you might think I'm mental again.
Yeah.
But when I was fit, I used to do a lot of travelling in this country, but I'd always go to somewhere old, you know, like Reno Abbey or old buildings, old churches. And I used to, I went to Scarborough. You know that one on the hill, what's it called? Where they say Dracula.
Oh, I know where you
Whitby Abbey.
Yeah.
Whitby Abbey. I went to Whitby Abbey once. And as I was walking round, I had the dog with me, as I was walking round, a piece of stone just popped out the wall.
That's a bit weird.
And I picked it up and I felt it, and I was just, you know how your mind plays?
Yeah.
And I was touching it and holding it. I thought, who put that stone there? How many memories if this stone could talk? So I put it back and thought, I've got it in garden somewhere. And when I go to old buildings, I'm like a tree hugger, but a stone hugger. It's like you feel the past.
I know you. I'm on you because I went to India once, right? And there was this big slab of stone, right?
Yeah.
It had absolutely no walls, just a big slab of stone. And I walked on this slab of stone, and all I could feel was peace. Now there's no walls, Pat, right?
Yeah.
But there was a plaque on the floor, and it was a temple, a Buddhist temple from like 2000 or whatever, 1,000 years ago. But whatever was in that stone was trapped. Because the minute I stepped off that stone, that feeling of peace wasn't there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I believe it because I go around all old abbeys and churches and buildings. And I do love trees as well. I give them a hug every now and again. But stone, I think vibes imprint themselves.
I do as well.
On the stone. And if you're receptive and you ground yourself with the stone, you can feel things. I mean, my family think I'm off the rocker. But I don't care because it makes me feel good. I mean, in my bedroom, I've got a box full of pebbles that I've collected from all parts of the country. And when I can't sleep sometimes at night, I'll get a piece of stone from wherever I went and put it in my hand and sleep. And I sleep better. So whatever that stone's been through, I can feel it. And it's sort of like being an empath.
Yeah.
You know, you can feel nature. And I know my garden's sad at the moment. But I think it's because it knows I'm sad about the state it's in. But I love walking out with no shoes on. It like grounds me. You know, and I've got a meadow, we've seen it, haven't we, at the side here. And I feel so guilty because my family want to cut it down. But there's nothing lovelier than walking through it, you know, with no shoes on. You've got all this grass and daisies and nettles, which are not too good.
But that's it. In a bit of a way, we was a bit of hippies, weren't we? We was like a different version of a hippie.
Yeah, the same mentality.
And the same feelings.
Yeah.
And not that everything was lovely, but that whole thing of we don't really quite believe in everything you lot are doing.
Yeah.
We don't really quite fit, but we fit with each other somehow.
Yeah. I had lots of hippie friends.
Yeah.
They all thought it was crazy, like, but...
Yeah.
But, I went to... You know, my memory's awful. There was a tower there. Oh, I forgot what it's called now. Anyway, it's a big place that lots of hippies used to go in the past. And there was this big tower. And there was a stream running through. And we'd stayed in this tower with candles and all that kind of stuff, getting off our heads all night. A couple of them took acid, but I never did. And... this guy said, we better go now, because we were building fires and all sorts, we all mucky. He said, right, we better go and have a wash by the stream. Well, I put my hand in the stream, it was like putting it in acid. I took my hand out right away, I said, don't wash in that, there's something wrong with it. When he started washing his hair and that, he said, "Oh, you're off your head, you. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just water." He was drinking it and everything. Anyway, I just walked off. I walked up the stream a bit and there was a dead fox in the water. With maggots and everything crawling through it. And I ran back to him and said, "Don't drink that water." But I think because of the way I am, I picked up that water wasn't safe, whereas he didn't. Yeah, I used to, what was it called, that place?
I don't know. Are we done, love?
Yes.
Have you got anything else you want to say before I go?
No, I might get myself arrested.
Pat, I want to thank you before I end. I want to thank you for watching all the memoirs, for commenting all the time, for watching all the excavation, for commenting all the time, and for inviting me to your house today. Well, I asked to come.
I've loved every minute of it.
Come in and picking me up. And we don't really know each other, but we've been chatting.
But I feel like I
know exactly. I was walking around your house before and remember going, "Well, come on, follow me." In your house.
We must have crossed paths.
Oh, no, definitely. When I seen pictures of you younger, I thought, I know her.
Yeah, I've not seen pictures of you younger, but I feel like
definitely.
I know you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I say, my memory's crap. And I remember the name as well, Linda Brogan. It's dead clear in my head like I've known you all my life.
That's probably because it's just been bandied all over the place. Right, I'm cutting us off. Lovely text. Thank you for all you did, Pat.
You're so welcome. Oh, thanks for coming. I've loved every minute of it.
Thank you, darling.
Sorry my brain's not working.
Oh, fuck off.